Hi, I'm Rory Sheehan, and welcome to Meditative Conditioning. Today I want to chat about communicating with spirit guides. And I don't know if you've experienced the same frustrations that I've had, but when I'm communicating with spirit guides, especially when I was first starting, their communication was somewhat cryptic. They would, give me a hint or a clue or a sign. I'm like, what the heck? How am I supposed to interpret this sign? And I started thinking about it, and I thought I'd share my ideas with you. So if you think about a language, different countries, different people have different languages, different communities, and in order to be part of that community, you've got to be able to speak the language. And if you take it a step further, you can see how different professions have different languages. There's like the language of finance, there's a language of lawyers, there's a language of engineers. Everybody seems to talk a different language. And I started thinking about this in the context of my ability to communicate with the other side. And it really dawned on me that they're communicating in a way that is unique to me. And the reason they're doing that is so that only I understand the message. The difficulty is at the beginning, I just didn't understand the message. So it really came down to building a strong rapport, first with my subconscious and then with the spirit guides, so I understood the language. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. If you look at any of these different groups, and you can take it as far as you want, you can talk about countries, you can talk about communities, even within English. You can go to a different community and somebody will say to you, oh, you're not from around here. You're like, well, how did you know I'm not from around here? As you communicated just a little bit differently, so they were able to identify that. You can take it to sports. There's a certain way of talking for different sports, and there's short forms, and there's different ways of communicating. And if you don't understand the way that the people involved in that sport are communicating, then you're not part of the group. So when I started thinking about that in the context of communicating with the other side, it really dawned on me that my spirit guides are communicating in such a way that only I can understand. The message is for me, not for anybody else. So my job is to learn how to interpret that communication. Now, some people will call this intuition or just a sense, but really it is learning how to communicate and understand that relationship between myself and my spirit guides, because the message is meant for me only. And they don't want anybody else to get that message because it's only meant for me. So then we have to look at, okay, well, how do we learn this? Well, let's start small. Let's start just establishing a relationship. Let's start talking to them. Let's start sending them energy. Take a breath and say, look, I want to send you some positive energy, and start building that. And then when you receive a sign, always remember it's always positive. It's always intended to help. It's always about learning so that you can move forward in a positive way. So you'll see something. So whatever, a bird flies by and you go, oh, that's a sign. Okay, well then take a moment. What's the message here? What am I meant to learn that's positive and helpful for me? And then start reinforcing that and pat yourself in the back and say, okay, I think I got this one. I think I got this one. And then notice going forward that when you see that same symbol, or you're aware of that same symbol, it's easier to interpret. And then we can start establishing that greater connection between us, our subconscious mind, and our spirit guides. Now, here's where we run into difficulty. When we start asking other people to help with the interpretation, because they can't say how to interpret it, simply because this is a message between you and your spirit guides that's intended only for you. So my spirit guide might say, send me a symbol on something, and I understand that's what it is for me. But the same symbol may mean something very different for you. So you have to make an effort to understand what your spirit guides are attempting to communicate with you. Start small. Start recognizing the signs, because they want a relationship with you just like you want a relationship with them. And then reinforce that. So what we want to do just for today is really focus on interpreting the messages. So when you see something, maybe it's a number, maybe it's an animal, maybe it's just something that you notice that you wouldn't otherwise have noticed. Take a moment and ask yourself, okay, what positive message is this sign intending for me? And once you take that interpretation, great, now you've got it. You've got a way to interpret that, and you can gradually expand and build that relationship between you and your spirit guides. So I hope that helps. If you're enjoying these videos, please click the like button. Please subscribe and click that bell so you can find out when we do other videos. And by all means, share these ideas with your friends and encourage them to join our community. We've got some really big things planned moving forward. So I hope you're having fun. I'm certainly enjoy putting these videos together. So until next time, I'm Rory Sheehan, wishing you a fantastic day.